Ladies and gentlemen, it's once again time to head to the land of the rising sun to see another great spectacle of Season 28 in AOR Main Tier 1 for the 2024 World Championship in this first half year on the new game. My name is in German, and I would like to take you through the current standings and some talks about the upcoming event for tonight. Unfortunately, I cannot present you with a final race result from last time, so we just go by what we can see on the screen for the Monaco Grand Prix in the fourth slot there on your screen right now. There were only 10 finishes, so that makes things a lot more easy. There was Rising Moon taking his second win with the 26 points because fastest lap went to Glücksbirne on the last final stint he did there. After VSC came out, he opted to go for an aggressive two-stop, switched to the mediums, and there were not enough laps left after late safety car, where we just had two race laps to go, and there was basically no way to get by. In third, we had Prof, who had an exceptional race weekend, could get himself away from what was a tough midfield battle in Australia, and when he missed out in Belgium after a collision with our reserve Endure after safety car in Belgium, and he just couldn't get it back. But as you can see, Australia as well as Monaco have been strong performances for him, and his 2 points scoring finishes put him in 7th for now. Solid Ninja Snake put 12 extra points on the board, and as you can see, he jumped 6 places, and that was a very crucial result for the Constructors World Championship. As you can see, that both V-Carbs are up there. More onto that later. Then after that, we had Tizik, who finished high again, also overtook Jamie, and is now on 45 points in third. After that, there was Pasty, he's in 8th now. And then we had Rivershan, who joined as a reserve last time out, and he scored 6 points in 7th. Chavan with his first points of the season up into 15th. Then we had 2 points for Max Stuka. He was missing Belgium as well as Australia for a COVID infection. He was back, but didn't have the best races, a bit outside where he wanted to be. Also qualifying not the greatest result for him. And Thomas scored his first point in the season as well. You can see that Ferrari are bottom last with both of their drivers. And let's take a closer look at what the Constructors World Championship is looking like for now. And as you can see, that's a 19-point swing from Mercedes against Racing Bulls, and that means they are now within 3 points of each other. Red Bull moved up into third with 51 points, scored the 4th most, and actually Kick Sauber scored the 3rd most, is in 6th, 1 point behind McLaren, who are in 5th. With a 0 to the name after Monaco. Alpine strong up against Aston Martin, who had no one in the points. Lucas as well retired as the first guy. They still scored 4 with Chavan, so they don't lose out on that many points. And Haas and Ferrari are still fighting for the red lantern there at the back, and that was something they didn't wish for. And obviously we have the track map for today's Japanese Grand Prix. There's this windy, medium speed first sector. After Dunlop up the hill, you go into Degner 1 and 2 fast right-handers under the bridge for this figure of 8 track into a sharp right, and then immediately heavy braking for the hairpin. A swan curve to double a left-hand apex of spoon, and finishing off the second sector with the start of a straight that is probably one of the best opportunities to overtake on. As you know, you can go flat out through 130R for turn 15. There's also a speed trap there, and the second sector split time, and then we only have 3 corners basically, 3 to 4 corners, with the braking zone for the chicane, and then it's a medium speed to finish off the lap. There's only 1 DS zone. There's no real heavy braking into turn 1 or turn 2 really, so that's going to be tricky for overtaking anyway. If there's weather, no DS activation available, then you just need to make sure you don't overheat your tires and stay on the track, because there are lots and lots of gravel traps. High-speed spins are on the menu, and also very tricky, bumpy turn in for the pit lane. And let's see how our drivers are stacking up currently. I'm just trying to see what's going on in the Discord. Things are still looking. Just give me a quick. Okay, just waiting. Okay, apparently we are ready for this session. As you can see, we have 17 drivers that are ready to race. And with that, we are into the first session for tonight's Grand Prix, and that is obviously the 80-minute short qualifying for this league. To be fair, most of the leagues have this implied. And the first thing I can tell you about some changes of the driver lineups. I say Williams is running without Jim Wong, who also was previously our league's coordinator. And as we are in now, I'm just gonna see who is here tonight with us. So for V-Cup, it's Glücksbirne with Jamie again. So that's the full force for V-Cup out here tonight, and there's also one of them going out first, and that's Jamie. Immediately followed by not Rising Moon, Solid Ninja Snake, and then a Red Bull. Solid Ninja Snake and Rising Moon. Once again, the team for Mercedes tonight. We have Chavan for Aston Martin, as well as Lucas once again. There's Alpine with Pasti and Thomas, as well as Max Juka. For Williams, he's the only one tonight for this outfit. Then we have Tobias, as well as Pedro. Ferrari need to get their shit together, honestly, so they can move away from us and out of the bottom position. Well, the bottom position actually. In last place, Tesig, as well as Kramer once again here for Red Bull, as we see that Jamie is starting his first lap, and there is Toro for Kick Sauber, that's a reserve. There is actually no Professor, no Michael here. Then we have Karim, who has a big following inside the chats, inside the chat for the live stream as well, and Garb, who's officially the McLaren driver, not Enduro, who has replaced him every time in the season so far. Bit of a lockup here from Jamie. Is here, so first outing for him. Is there something I'm missing? Must be. Yeah, Super. Super is a reserve as well, who's filling in an IS tonight. Yeah, there was a weather-struck Monaco Grand Prix weekend last time out. And there's a bollard that has been dismantled by our Vika with the 99. He's crossing the line to set us off with the first lap time. And that's not Kramer, that's Tesig, unfortunately, so I missed that. That's a 28.2. After that, it's Solid Ninja Snake with a 29.3. And now it's Kramer for fourth, probably. Or the fourth guy to bring us a lap time over the line. Also 28.2. That's not Vasi, it's Thomas. After that, that's Max Stuka, I think. Yeah. And he goes to provisional pole on 28.1 as well. But it's 4.6 after that. And not 7.4. Tobias goes to 28.4. And after that, that should be Pasti. But he has invalidated his lap time. Glücksburner next across the line is just starting his lap. Then it's Karim into 4th, 28.2. Lucas, 28.7. Then Shawan, 29.0. Then we have Gabs. And then there's Rising Moon to put us off into the 27.6 as Pedro goes to 28.6 as well. Is there a second attempt by Jamie? No. Also Tesik, there is none. Next to cross the line, but to start off with his first flying run is Super. And then there's Solid Ninja Snake into the pit lane. Pasti as well on an out lap. Let's go to Glücksburner. Has completed 12 12 corners of this lap so far. Currently have a second of a gap to second position. He's trying to get into the 1 minute 27s as well. He needs to make sure that Rising is doesn't have it too easy. As you can see, there are 3 people on the 28.2 as well. Glücksbahn over the line, won 2 races so far in the season, and they are so tight together once again. That's only 63 thousandths of a second between them. Chawan into the pit lane, someone else down on the lap. Yeah, let's go to Super. Probably the only one left to complete. His first stint, he opted to go for a second outlap to warm the tires and then push on this one. He has 1 corner to go. And over the line for the Haas driver, that's a 28.944, and that puts him into 14th. As Toro is the only one to have not set a lap time. As we see a nice slide. Turn right to go left. Lightning McQueen and Doc Hudson style for turn number 1 there, as he clipped the inside curb on the apex. And there's past the seeming to be on another attempt. No, 3.6 seconds. That is not faster, my guy. Sorry, but I don't think we missed anything. Now more people into the pit lane. Let's go on board for a lap around the Suzuka International Racing Course with Solid Ninja Snake for Mercedes. Currently in P16, starting the lap with the only DS zone. Here there's some bumps now that you need to make sure you avoid hitting with your setup. There's no rear braking into 1, but for 2, 5, use a lot of the exit curb, but don't go over the red and white part. Avoid the curbs here on the inside. Bring the car in nicely. Don't step on the throttle too early here. Avoid this curb. Don't go too wide here. Dunlop, which is turn 7, is very tricky. First sector split is 4 tenths faster. Use a lot of exit on Degner 2 as well as Degner 1 before. Now make sure you're on a straight line before hitting the brakes for turn 11. And they happen here. That has been widened in previous years, as well as for the game. That's now a flat out turn 12 towards infamous spoon curve. Don't run too wide on the exit because your car will bottom out over the curb. Now you can run a lot more at the second exit after you hit that second left hand side curb. Into the final sector. There was the DS ejection zone. Braking for the probably the heaviest braking point. He's using 4 for extra traction here. Now get as close as you can to the wall to minimize the way to the line. And that is now a 28.5. And that's P10 for the Mercedes. Tobias is starting the lap now as well. There is Kramer. No, that's Tizik. But he is abandoning his lap and into the pit lane. Tomas is at the start of the second sector. Karim and Garbs are also not on a flyer. Who else is out there? Jamie is out there as well. And he spins it. That is not good. Shawan. That's Max Zucker finished his lap to put himself into contention. 27.8, and Kramer does a 28.0. As Lucas is starting another lap. Pedro is starting another lap. Gabs as well. It's also an Alpine. Thomas is closing off his lap. He is continuing. And he improves to 28.5. And is directly matched with his teammate. So, Jamie is starting another attempt here. And there's Rising Moon. Basically everyone except Tesik is currently on an out lap or a hot lap. Tobias over the line was invalid, so he's going in. There's no fuel for Solid Ninja Snake, who we just watched from the onboard. Super starting a lap. There's Shawan to complete one. Goes into 10th, and he even splits the Alpines, despite them only being separate by 23 thousandths of a second, as there's an improvement for Karim. And he's 4 thousandths of a second in front of Kramer, as Glücksbirne goes for his second run here. There's an first time for Toro, that's a 28.787. Now that's Lucas. Yeah, missed that. Currently on a 28.5 as well. There is Pedro, 28.2. Good showing here for the Ferrari squad. There's Pasti now up into a 28.0. Also 3 drivers now on that time for the moment. That's Max Duca into the pit lane. That's Jamie into the pit lane. Then we have a Mercedes. Rising Moon, the first to complete the second to final run. An improvement for him. Next across the line, Tesik to start a lap. Ferrari into the pit lane. Gabs into the pit lane. That's an invalidation. Let's go to Glücksbirne. He is also 2/10 up. And that currently would mean that he is in front of Rising Moon. Coming across the line. Can he retake pole position? Provisional pole position. Goes once again to Glücksbirne. There's the Haas at the back. Super starting his second attempt here. Or basically his second stint on the third run. And that is mighty close between them. That's 89 thousandths of a second. Lucas is going slow. Who is that other blue dotted car? That's Pasti coming into the pit lane. I hate that the yellow flags block the way of the clock. You should be renamed because you don't know Codemasters. Tesik is not using his ES. It's 4 minutes to go. And I'm worrying for Glücksbirne because that is just enough time to get a third run in. And usually there is track evolution. And yeah, they are still 4/10 ahead of the next competitor. And yeah, 3 people are separated by basically nothing, as there are also 4 people on a 28.5. And a bandit run for Super, but I'm gonna think he's gonna stay out, as Glücksbirne is now to the pit lane and only Gabs is out there as well. If you're now, you're probably thinking to yourself, yeah, I'm just gonna need that second run just to be sure. So sometimes people just go out to be out there for a case where you just are not fast on your first attempt, you just immediately abort it. Have this as your second outlap and go again. But for that you obviously need extra time. And that might be the case for Gabs now. You obviously need to fuel your car for this. It's probably 6 or 7 kilos, so a bit over what is the minimal view you can have. With 2 minutes and 11 seconds on the clock, the McLaren of Gabs is pushing for probably his final time in the session to go up the order, currently in P15 on a 28.7. A second run immediately after the first one isn't recommended because your battery is low, and usually you are not faster by that. He wasn't faster in the first sector, but not by much. He has 2 sectors to find improvements. Crucially, the most is lost and won in the second one, as there are, as I said, only 2 real turns and 2 flat out ones for the last sector. There's a half a second improvement for the second McLaren, and that currently means he's promoted into 9th or 8th. Over the line for Gabs, and he goes into 7th position. He is 50 thousandths of a second behind his teammate, who's just starting a lap. In the background, Jamie is starting a lap. There's an Lucas, an Aston Martin is starting his lap now. There's Kramer, there's Tesik, there's Glücksbirne. Everyone is starting their final attempts. And that was a great effort by Gabs to finish inside the top 7 for the moment. 4 thousandths behind Pasti, 50 thousandths behind his teammate. That is closely matched, and I can't believe that there are 2 more cars between them. This is how tight this season is for some of these drivers. Mess up 1 bit of traction, 1 bit of turn, and as Pasti finishes qualifying in 3rd on a 27.7, great effort by the Alpine. Pedro behind him, 28.2. No improvement, if I'm seeing that correct. Chavan over the line, 28.5, stays the same. There is P11 for Toro over the line. Then we have Solid Ninja Snake. He stays in 15 at max, could not improve on a 28.5. That's currently the drop zone time. Karim over the line. The ploy is used. Can he jump into the top 3? He can! He beats Pasti, 27.6. Lucas over the line, had a horrible showing in Monaco, 28.1. There's Kramer over the line, couldn't improve. Tesik goes to 7th, also on a 28.0. Next is Jamie. No, Glücksbirne cannot improve on his time. And there's Max Duca into 3rd. Next across the line is Thomas. P13, the Haas of Super, stays 17th. Let's look to Rising Moon, and he cannot beat his championship rival in Glücksbirne. Jamie has retired, is only in P10, and has some way to climb up in front of him. Just trying to see who I missed. Yeah, Tobias couldn't improve. Chavan stayed, we covered Ninja. Yeah, that's it. That's it for qualifying. Everyone is through. Rising Moon couldn't improve. And Max Duca is into the top 3 and not far away from the top 2. Great effort. That was actually recorded, okay. Yeah, once again, Glücksbirne, Rising Moon, Max Duca, then Karim Pasti, Trema, Tesig, Gabs, Lucas, Jamie, Pedro, Toro, Thomas, Tobias, Chawan, Solid Ninja Snake, as well as Super. And it is dry for the start of this race. So actually both Mercedes did not improve. Tobias did not improve. Pedro did not improve, so both Ferraris. Yeah, sorry. I could not see the preview for the stream, so you just have footage for now on. Sorry that this was an audio broadcast for you now. Need to make sure I put this here as well. Okay. Yeah, that's a rookie mistake by me. Sorry guys, I didn't have the preview up for the stream. Just gonna put this here to avoid that for the future. But we are here for the race, that is the most important. Oh, is there a restart? No. Okay. Why isn't it an invite? He is offline. Oh! Ein Glücksbirne. Glücksbirne has spun off. Has left the session. Is there a new crash session? Please stand up so we can start a new one. Okay, and there's a new session. Okay. We'll be right back for you. And we are back to the new lobby. Actually 5 people disconnected. So that's why we had a restart. Okay, there's a start in 1 minute, so please stand by. And here we are for the formation lap of the Japanese Grand Prix. We'll have a look at the tires. And we can see that Pasi, Jamie as well as Pedro are starting on the hard tires for this race. And the rest has opted for the medium tires. Obviously everyone has now fresh unused tires available to them. And if required, if needed, they could have opted to change to 2 hards, because none of the soft tires from the qualifying will be used anyway. But a good second set of hards, if anything crazy goes on here, could become in handy. And then they would be on the only medium, would have 2 hards available to them and 3 soft tires. And that sounds like a nice selection to me. Although you have to say that on most tracks, the medium runs far and long into the race, and it feels like 50% races have wrong scaling on these tires, because sometimes just looks so odd that they cover more of the same race distance as for 100% races with different type of pace. The percentages are lower, but should also stop sooner. That was a very fast formation lap from Glücksbilder. Less weaving than from the others. And as you can see, P17 of Super has just now entered the last sector. And is now on to the starting rate of this race. 2 people have been disqualified. Why is there no sound now? Okay, now we have sound. As we got to 5 red lights for the Japanese Grand Prix, and lights out, and away we go. And there is a good start from Glücksbirne. The Rising Moon can't get ahead, but there's Max Duca racing the Mercedes side by side. It's now under pressure from the inside from Karim. More people are changing position. Lucas up into 7th already. And there's a side-by-side moment between the McLaren of Gabs and Jamie in the V Cup. And both Ferraris are down to 14th and 15th. Remember, one is on the hard tires. Predicted strategy, I cannot see that happening. It's probably hard to mediums or vice versa for most of these drivers anyway. Toro moving out of the slipstream and out of the dirty air in the braking zone from behind, where Pasi is in front of him. And at the front, Glücksbirne is trying to get away from his fellow competitors behind him. And Tobias is looking racy to get by for 13th. He's looking to battle Thomas. I have to check once again. That is working, that's good. Oh, he goes around the outside for 130R. Can he make it stick into the braking zone? Yes, he can. And that's P13 for him. As Rising Moon has already cleared second gap to 3rd place. As both of the Red Bulls are looking racy. And there's a pit stop for Thomas. As well as Chavan is losing a position to Pedro into turns 1 and 2. Hard tires for the Alpine driver, now 17th. His teammate starting good, but lost 3 positions as we can see, from 5th to 8th. And he is trying to get these tires to warm up. Kramer's looking racy. Karim is not faster than him. And Karim himself is losing the DRS to the guy in front. As Glücksbirne could not dispatch Rising Moon. 40 to 60% of the ERS battery for the V Cup. There's another fight brewing up here. Toro against Pasi, and Jamie is trying to be in there as well. He needs the DRS to be available for him, because if not, these hard tires are probably not going to do the job early on here. Is there the first change of the lead on lap 3? As Rising Moon puts the fastest lap in there as well. And there's a spin from Pasi. And there's a DNF. Oh, there's a mass collision! There's a mass collision at the back. Solid avoids that in the last second. Pedro and Pasi are both out. And that must have been huge contact for them. And there's only a virtual safety car for now. Jesus Christ. The Ferrari just went airborne. And the cars have been cleared already. As Thomas is then next to come onto the scene of action. Both of the tires are still here. And there's Solid Ninja State to receive a 10-second time penalty for gaining a position. Yeah, there was not a drive-through penalty. And now Tesik has lost position to Lucas because he either went too early or too slow and lost out because of the delta. Is there front wing damage for Lucas? There is front wing and plate damage to the Aston Martin. I wonder how many more people got damaged from that collision. Somewhere behind them. SNS actually avoided that. What about Gabs and Jamie? No, there wasn't any. At least from what I can see. Gabs into the braking zone of the chicane. And there's another yellow flag. That's Fupa. Fupa's off in the chicane as well. There's more movement for the positions. Tesik is up. on Lucas as well as Toro, so that's 2 positions lost for the McLaren. Up next is Jamie in the Wii Cup. And Tesik has lost out to the DRS of his teammate who's trying to fight Karim. He's way faster than him. The gap has already reopened as a wide moment for Lucas. And Gabs is back into 8th position. Yeah, front wing damage for Lucas is not gonna help him. Left hand side isn't too bad for a track that has mostly right hand, has mostly corners that go to the right. Oh, that's a wide moment for the McLaren. Is there a chance for Jamie to get by? He needs to be in the fight. Solid is down the order, but securing points early on as the camera does not show if they are side by side into 130R. And Jamie has dispatched the Aston Martin, and Glücksburner goes up and puts the challenge towards Rising Moon and the others to set a faster lap than he did just now. Sharon is losing out here to Solid Ninja Snake, who still needs to serve a 10-second time penalty later in the race, maybe. Is he any hards? No, mediums. Only hard runners are Jamie and Thomas now, because Pedro was involved in that crash. Rising is... oh, sorry, wrong button. Rising is close. Kramer as well. This whole bunch of cars fighting for position is in the DRS window of Jamie currently, because Lucas and the 3 cars behind him are in it as well. And Kramer goes by on Karim into Spoon. Wow. Fortunately, I missed that. Let's look at the top battle for tonight, and probably for the rest of the season. Rising Moon against Glücksburner. Is there a change for the lead on lap 6 for the first time? And that looks to be a very juicy opportunity for the Mercedes as he moves into P1 on lap 6 as they head for the braking zone of turns 1 and 2. And Kramer is still ahead and is now hunting down Max Duca, who didn't look too bad, but is also not fast enough to be with the top 2. And also Toro is fast, so these French drivers for tonight are looking to be very racy. As the kicksauber is close to the Lebanese, if I'm not mistaken. And Tesik is in a bit of a no man's land as the Aston Martin swap position. And Lucas has to realize, maybe I should pit, I'm losing too much time. And the hearts can go the full distance. That is something I can give you for free, because I've watched Japan in a league race 2 weeks prior to this. Will Glücksburner immediately move past Rising Moon? And he will. And that's a lot of ERS saving for him, and a lot of DRS boosting for these top 2. As Max is now seriously under pressure from Kramer. As we watch from the onboard of the Red Bull, whose car seemed to be more planted than anyone else's. And there was a pass by Tobias onto Jamie. Is Toro in a position to do something here? No, but this fight for best of the rest behind the top two is now heating up. They are pulling a gap to 7th place Tizik for the moment, as he's outside their DRS window, or is no one behind him who is in his DRS window to help him. Save his resources to go further and closer to them. Let's see if Rising Moon thinks, oh, they are so low on EIS, but there's a 20% advantage to the V Cup. I don't think there's gonna be a move here with 7 tenths of a second between them, and there's a new fastest lap, as we can see that the Red Bull is getting closer, and the Red Bull is too close for comfort and moves into 3rd position, as Kramer has now taken the Williams of Max Duca, who is now demoted and outside the podium position. And Super has moved past his French rival in Lucas, who still thinks this is going to be working out until a pit. Do your homework on strategy. You could be on hard tires already to save you this, let's say, bleeding death, as Lucas also received a 3-second time penalty there, as we swap back to this fight here. Max Duca is having none of Kramer's pace or idea of, yeah, I'm just gonna close the gap down now. Oh, he's so close. He's moving out of the slipstream just before 130R. He is ahead and retakes 3rd position, but there's a prime repassing opportunity into turn 1 after they successfully navigate the final chicane onto the straight. Is there a move for 1st position? Yes, there is. Rising Moon into 1st, and now Max Duca is losing 2 positions. 1 to Kramer and 1 to... what the fuck? 1 to Kramer and 1 to Karim, and is now into 5th, as there is Toro being currently a bit feisty and is trying to put pressure onto the guys ahead. Yes, management is obviously crucial. Just save enough to have a bit of a boost when you open the rear ring on the main straight. And there's a switchback opportunity now for the Kick Sauber. But there wasn't a gap to go for. The two still closely matched. Shawan is a bit outside this second gaggle of cars led by Tizik. See if there's an answer by Glücksbill to take 1st position once again, as a Red Bull is leading a McLaren for 3rd and for 7th, and there is Karim now into 3rd. He is giving his fans what they want. Good fighting, climb through the field. He is up by 1 position now after an earlier loss of position. Toro up by 6. That is a great showing by him. Once again the tires. And Lucas is now finally onto these arts. And he will try to make them work for now. And till the end. That's close. What about these two? Tizik couldn't keep up with the cars ahead. But Tobias is in this as well. He has a good showing for tonight. Looking racy, looking feisty. I hope I did not jinx that. And Karmi is looking feisty as well. Into Spoon Curve. He is ahead. But there's so much slipstream on this, let's call it back straight. For a driver this close. Or is using the ERS now to make that pass stick, not to make it awkward. And they have swap positions within 2 oh, and he goes right! Tasic goes off! Needs to cut the chicane. He got the chicane. And he goes to the pits. Wow. A crucial, but not totally outrageous mistake in terms of how much he lost there. Glücksburn is still staying behind and is still following Rising Moon as he is his shadow basically. And now there is the start of the pit stops. Toro has pitted as well. So that is a direct answer basically to Tasic. No, that wasn't front. He was in this group here. He was in this as well. Let's see how they respond. Obviously, the McLarens and the Red Bulls need to make sure that they don't impede each other in a way that they lose too much time because of pit stops. Only Max has the advantage with no teammate, and Solid is into 8th position. Didn't realize. And there's Glücksburn into the pit lane, triggering the undercut. There's Max Duca as well. There's Tobias going in as well. There's more undercuts to come. Charwan is staying out. And Solid Ninja Snake is at the back of Gaps, as well as Karim still behind Kramer. And Jamie is looking feisty. He will be looking forward to have some clean air soon. And there is surely a big enough gap for Mercedes to pit both cars on the same lap. Usually you are only affected by a teammate. Oh, and there's a 3-second time penalty for Gabs. Oh no. That's not good. That might be a good result ruined. Because he's currently under threat from Toro and also Tobias and Tasic to be undercutted. And yeah, Jamie wants to continue probably till the end of lap 16 maybe. And there, as I said, is a big enough gap for Mercedes to pit. He needs to respond. That's Rising Moon. And usually you are only affected by your teammate's pit stop if you are less than 5 seconds behind. That was a bit slippery on braking. Oh, that's a double stack for McLaren, and Gaps is gonna lose out. Slowed it down for the line. And Solid is actually staying out and is pulling Jamie with him. Let's see where Glücksburner is coming out. And he is ahead of Rising Moon, and by some margin. That's over a second, and that might be a crucial. No, that's just at the 1 second mark. That's double DRS though, despite cold tires. So let's see. Toro is in front of Kramer. Huge. Max is in front of Toro and Kramer. Karim is lost out to them. And Tobias is in front of Gabs as well. Tasic has lost out massively after that lockup. Max is gonna make him is making his life harder with these white moment there at the exit of Deckner 2. And actually, both of the fighting teams for the Constructors World Championship are currently in a fight, and it's hard to say that to Jamie, but the number 2 drivers are fighting it out, and Solid needs a bit now. Been on these tires a bit too long, maybe. He was directly behind Tobias, and I fear that he will not be after he has completed his pit stop. Tobias has just reached the braking zone of the chicane, and that's not really far from there. Still DRS for Rising Moon, so that almost worked out there as Toro moves into what is effectively 3rd position for now. As Max Suzuka has been overtaken by the Kicksauber. Let's look for Tobias, and yeah, look how much Solid Ninja Snake lost out. It's nice to have fresher tires, but you need to use them against these people. You didn't need to fall behind, and is effectively last because Lucas has already been lapped somewhere. No, he hasn't been, sorry. Wrong dot on the minimap. So, the gap for Jamie to pit in is roughly around 20 to 22 seconds, so right where Gaps is. And he was in P10, and they are fighting as I just said that. Tizik wants to get by. He is probably a bit furious about the situation. His past him has put him in. And we start lap 15 with a 1-2-4 V car, but one driver still needs to pit as Toro is probably trying to defend from the guys behind now. As Max Duca opened an opportunity for him. Yes, yes. Toro moved in to the slot behind the Williams, but the Kramer, he thought about it for 1 second. And Karim is also closely behind. And there's also like a nice pearl chain on the main straight there from Chavan down to Solid Ninja Snake, who needs to overtake a lot of people to get back into the points. Look how much he lost to Tobias. That's 13 seconds plus. Wow. Huge mistake. Now there's a moment for Super. Lost out. And is down to 14th now. Max Stuka under pressure from Toro. Under pressure from Kramer. And Karim is in this soon as well. Under the 1 second window behind. Yeah, look at the slipstreaming that is helping everyone. But the guy in front that is punching the air, punching a hole in it. And there is pressure from Gubs onto Tesig once again into the chicane. And there's a move for effectively first place once again as Rising picks Glücksbirne up and move into second place, what will turn into first. And there's Max Stuka on the outside, and he will say that he left me no space, but they were actually trying to go 3 wide into turns 1 and 2, so he's losing out here. Went over the rough edge of the curb on the outside there, and now is seriously looking like being pressured from Karim. Solid Ninja Snake is actually into 12th position and is now chasing down Chawan, who is roughly 3 seconds ahead of him, and that would be P11. And the top 2 are closing in on the V-Cup in the lead. 1.198 seconds faster is Rising Moon right now, and it looks like He's going for that fastest lap attempt that is offering you an extra point as the leader pits. And Rising Moon takes the new fastest lap of the race as Max Duca has left the session. Oh no, I tried to invite him quick. Max, here you go, mate. And Jamie is currently demoted behind T6, so that's roughly the gap where I predicted him to be in. But he has some clean air, that's crucial right now. For tire warm-up, he has clean air. And the top two are now 9 seconds ahead here. All of them are fighting very hard. So that is obviously taking away time from their finishing time and also opening up gaps to people in front. As Luke Spinner goes by before the breaking of and for Spoon. Maybe there was a mistake by Rising Moon. He's on 60% ERS. There's Karim making a move around the outside of Max Stuka into Spoon Curve, but has missed out on the DRS from Toro right now, and he needs to use his battery up to be inside the 1 second. And he has a detection zone, and he's in it, and you need to be in it to win it. As they say, is there another passing moment for the lead as we are down to 10 laps of this race. And there are still a bunch of places who are not sorted yet. Kramer could be on the podium, Toro could be on the podium, Karim as well as Max Stuka could be, but he is losing out for now. Because the AI is not as fast. Nothing is happening here. Let's look to the top 2. Oh! There was a lag. And that gives... Razimoon has been gifted the lead of the race. I'm not the host, don't blame me. Just gonna re-invite Max Stuka once again. And he's in. Oh, that's so crucial for the race win. When was that virtual safety car, by the way? Lap 2. Because Thomas pitted under the safety car. Yeah, that's gonna be rough for Glücksbirne now, because he is out of the DRS charge and out of the DRS window. There's a passing opportunity for Toro now, and he takes it by the first time of asking. The Kicksauber is into 3rd position. Although he's only a reserve driver, and I'm not sure if he will score points with the team. I don't think he will. That's nice to see a back-to-back podium for the neon green car. It is also pulling away. Let's swap to Jamie, who's on the freshest of tires with 2-lap-old mediums that will go to the end. The position up ahead is already his, as there's a 10-second speeding penalty for Lucas, who retires in the pit lane. I hope the AI is not gonna fuck someone's race. Can Kramer take 3rd position? He will not. I think there was a chance to go for it, but he thought better of it, and Jamie is up into 8th position. 4 crucial points. Because currently Rising Moon is taking 26 and Glücksspinner 19. And despite the deficit not being covered fully by Jamie so far, he has still time to make up positions. 8 laps to go, he is less than a second behind 7th place Tobias. And he has also only 3.5 seconds to the next car in Max Suzuka. Yeah, battle is heating up for these drivers once again. Smax is now completely out of the window, down to 6. Unfortunately, to his poor internet connection. Shit camera angle once again. Kramer moves into 3rd. There is Toro on the inside. Oh, and he used a bit too much of the curb. And has his wheel disconnected. There's a disconnect for Karim on the wheel. I think I can't see why someone would have had an incident like this. Now he's ghosted. There's a 3-second time penalty for Jamie now. Something has completely gone wrong for Karim. Maybe there's also an internet disconnect here, because I don't see why you would use ERS inside the corners. And now that's net 7th place for Gaps or Jamie right now, because these two are still fighting for it. Goes deep here, is trying to take another line. Make sure that you don't do it too early, because you need to get away to have another go at it. And they have lost some time now. Additionally, half a second to Tobias. The group with Tobias to Max Suzuka, I mean. That's a big downer for McLaren. They looked so good, but now something horrible went wrong, and that's only Kramer and Toro left for the fight of the final podium position. They are now 10.5 seconds behind the leaders. And Solid Ninja Snake has also taken... Karim stopped, but it's not shown at the left hand side. It's one of these days, guys. I forgot to switch the scene in OBS. There are bugs, there are lags, there's a lobby restart. Can't make this up or do anything against it. Well, I could have done. I am guilty. Dear Honor. Now, Toro is also guilty of good racing against his French mate in Kramer. Don't know if they know each other that well, but at least on track they are battle buddies. And there's 100% ES charge being held by Toro, and he's gonna make good use of that now. Used roughly 40% to make a pass on him on the Red Bull, and is into 3rd position. What about Jamie? There's Tobias in front of him. He can't move to the left hand side because of gaps, but he makes a mistake. And on the inside of 4, oh no, they've touched now. Oh, Jamie's actually through, and they didn't spin off. Well done. And that looked like hard but fair racing. 1.8 seconds between Rising Moon and Glücksbirne now. The gap to Max Duca is coming down once again. But just by a tiny margin. Jamie needs the guys in front to battle more and maybe even go over the line in terms of toughness of the battle. Because if we are being honest, trying to get 3 seconds out of this is gonna be very hard. And you need to make sure that these stay ahead of the guys who are currently behind you. Is Kramer gonna make a move here? Doesn't look like it. Is Jamie gonna make a move? Yes, he has done it into P6. That will become currently effectively P7. Only losing it to Tobias. He's still on them fresher mediums. As 3.5 seconds to Max Duca, who has lost more. As Karim just posted the new faster lap of the race on a 29.551. What about the AS management here up top? 10% more for the leader. As there's a motorcycle on a Sunday in Germany outside my window. Shame on you, brother. No, that's a drill. Who is drilling? And I don't mean sex on a Sunday. Well, let's hope Kramer isn't drilling his front nose structure into the rear of Toro there at the end of the chicane, because they were so close together, and now Kramer moves back into third position. And now the time has come that you start wondering about when you're gonna make your final move, because these two have been trading places for eternity, and currently that isn't looking good for Kramer to be ahead before we head into the final DRS overtake opportunity on this fine race day. Thomas is also fighting super for 13th, for P12. Charan is on a lonely P10. Has Ninja an opportunity to take a final point here for Mercedes that might make all the difference. Once again, everyone on the hard except Jamie as well as Karim. What about Toro? On the start of lap 27 into the braking zone of 1 and 2, you want to be ahead, or basically be as close as you can to the guy in front on lap 27 for this braking zone, because that is really your final and last opportunity to make a move. Let's see if Toro is trying to make one here, and they are on equal ERS battery as well. And he isn't looking for the move. Tobias isn't as well. He doesn't need to risk it, and Solid is into the DRS of the Aston Martin ahead. And that would spell an extra point here. Less than the second driver for Racing Bulls or V-Carb, but overall the stronger showing for Mercedes, because they're currently outscoring. Oh, there's a 3-second time penalty for the race leader on the penultimate lap, and now Glücksbirne is inheriting that win. if he can keep it on the black stuff for the next 5.5 something kilometers. Oh my word, Rising Moon had this in the back. But somehow the universe decided, yeah, your PC issues, not your fault. And Luke Banger is back with the win again. And there's a spin. There's a spin by Tesik. And now Charman and Solid Ninja Snake have the opportunity to grab a couple of more points. Oh, they're not close enough for the DRS. They're not close enough. Toro is close enough. He moves to the outside and takes third position. There's still a Red Bull on the inside and they make it work. But the ERS percentage is going to be crucial for the final run into 130 on the chicane in 1.5 sectors time. As Solid couldn't make it past. Karim has retired in the pit lane. He is not having any of that. Wow. And Glucksman is even pushing for it. I really want to see this battle out will work out. There's a 20% ES charge advantage for the guy in fourth. Rising Moon was for 26 laps looking like the winner of tonight's Japanese Grand Prix. He takes the finish line first, but is demoted. And now there's Kramer on his final attempt. They are battling hard. There's gonna be a late break of the late breakers. There's contact. And now there's side by side through the last corner. Who can make it to finish on the podium? And it's Kramer by 25,000 of a second. Max is 5th, followed by Tobias in 6th, 7th is Jamie. Gabs takes first points of the season in 9th. And Chawan can fend off Solid Ninja Snake for the last point by just 1.5 tenths. As Super is gonna be demoted to P13 by the line because of a penalty. Wow! What a showdown between the French drivers there. 25,000 of a second. And Toro is your driver of today. What a race and a half. And you have to feel for Rising Moon there. But obviously it feels like justice to the guy in first place. Glücksburner takes the 3rd win of the season he has currently had in terms of wins for this stat by 1. It's Rising Moon in 2nd there. Couldn't keep the fastest lap as well. Kramer in front of Toro. What a fight there at the end. Max Tuka 5th. Tobias 6th. Great haul of points for Ferrari. Jamie only 7th. Gaps 8th. Then Tesik 9th. Chawan, as I said, takes the final point for Aston Martin. Solid Ninja Snake only 11th. Then Thomas 12th. Super 13th. And the non-finishers were Karim, Lucas, Pedro and Vasti, who apparently had a collision. But we don't know what happened to them. Yeah, we will be right back for some drivers interviews, so stay tight.
Hello.
We are back for some Doris interviews after tonight's Japanese Grand Prix Race 5 of Season 28 for AOR PC F Tier 1. And we have Glücksspinner, who takes his third win of the season, at the microphone. First, congratulations on your win. That was quite a roller coaster of emotions, I can imagine. You were in the fight for the whole time with Rising once again, and then it seems to be there was like some sort of PC lag from my point of view, and then you just dropped back out of the DRS window, and after that there was hope again on lap 26 after a time penalty for the leader in Rising Moon and Yen. You inherited that win. How do you feel after this one?
Yeah, well, GG's to everyone, first of all. And yeah, I guess the game was lagging at the hairpin, so I basically lost the DRS to Moon, and I was so frustrated. And I had like 2 warnings after lap 5 already, so like after I got like the lag moment, I just didn't even care about the third warning anymore. I'm just gonna like full floor it until the end of the race, hoping I will get into the DRS from Rising Moon again. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But I guess when I saw the 3-second penalty from Rising Moon, I was like shocked, first of all. I didn't expect it. I checked the race director. Moon got like 2 warnings, in one in lap 25 and one in lap 26, so that's very unfortunate from Moon's side's of view. But yeah, I guess I had the pace for at least top 2 again today. I guess this week was a very Japanese week, because this week was the one where I had like Japan in 3 leagues.
No.
So I had quite a practice for like AOR on Sunday, and yeah, unfortunate for Moon, but if those warnings are all legit, I guess I'll take the W.
Yeah, also very crucial, because that is the biggest point overhaul you can get in terms of like the gap to the next car. And we all know that your Imola Grand Prix was something not to be remembered by you. The gap is currently down to 11 points. Is that some sort of a start to a momentum switch where you can just pull out enough pace and overall to make sure that you keep closing the gap down on Rising? I assume that would have been a final and last lap battle, as for some other drivers in the field here tonight, if you had stayed inside that 1 second DRS window. What do you feel is the current pace of you, and regarding what races we still have in the championship left?
I guess it depends how much I'm gonna practice those races, but as the season's going on, I guess Moon and I have to switch up a gear. Both we're gonna like motivate each other to be faster, and it's all about staying clean and don't get 3 warnings or more. So yeah, the Imola Grand Prix was just, I guess, like the don't know, didn't like warmed up for league racing, I guess. But yeah, I guess it's like the consistency I'm building up at the moment for like staying on the track and don't get more than, or at most like most 2 warnings in one race.
Yeah, looking ahead, the next race is actually the sister race to one of the worst performances of you this season so far. It's at Monza. What do you think of this track, and how good of a chance do you have there to take the win?
I guess it's like DRS chicken all the way to the end. So I think it's gonna be all about staying on the track, don't get any warnings. And I didn't race this track yet on this game, so let's hope I won't have another Imola performance, and yeah, we will see.
Okay, then wishing you the best of luck for next time, and hopefully another great battle without technical issues for next week. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. See ya.
See you. And once again, Rising is missing, but we have third placed Kramer for our next interview. Kramer, that was an immense battle, and 50 just over the line, 25 thousandths of a second between you and Toro there at the end. That must have been very stressful and very full of adrenaline for you. Take us through how you have seen this race from your perspective and how that final moment through the chicane on the last lap was from your side.
Well, first, I had a very rough start of the seasons. 4 Grand Prix didn't work at all for me. I had a struggle with the game at first, a lot, but I think now I'm starting to get a feel to it. And yeah, it was a tense fight during the whole Grand Prix actually. Not only at the end, but yeah, the end was really tight. And yeah, at first I didn't know if I was first or third or fourth, but yeah, it was a relief when I saw I was third, and I got the podium, so it felt good, yeah, to be back on the podium.
That's something I can imagine dearly. There was a good starting position for you as well. You had, as you said before, some races where it was a bit rougher. That's now you up by 3 places in the championship as well, somewhere in the midfield battle, like the people you just raced today. When you look for the second phase of this season, what do you think is still possible from you? Like, are you still nervous about some tracks in the race calendar that might not suit you, or are you just trying to use this as a momentum switch to build up, maybe get a bit of practice or understanding of this game to move forward? Or do you just take this, just like a short victory for now and focus next week for the next race?
I'll definitely try to keep some sort of momentum from the race. But yeah, I don't think now. For now, I can manage to threaten the top 2 on another league, as far as I can see. But yeah, I'll try to fight for the third step of the podium, for 4th places from now. Let's see. We'll take it race from race.
Okay, looking ahead also for next week. Oh no, that's in 2 weeks actually. Sorry.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 1st of September actually. Monster, what do you
Oh.
think of this track, and what kind of chances do you think are on board for you in this race?
I like the track, but yeah, let's. I'll try to get on the podium again. I don't think I can manage to go for the win for now, but yeah, I'll definitely have a focus on the podium.
Okay, then wishing you the best of luck
Thank you
for
very much.
for the next race when we see you in 2 weeks' time as well, and then yeah, celebrate with the team, enjoy that
Yeah.
3rd place, and
Thank you.
see you next time.
See you.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Goodbye. That has been all from this week of AOR Racing. It has been a phenomenal eventful race. I hope to see you next time, but that is in 2 weeks. And I hope you give this channel a sub. Make sure you come back for more racing when we are here for race 6 of the season 28 for AOR main tier 1 from Italy, Monza. My name has been Hermann the German, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Have a good night and a good start to the new week tomorrow.